It's the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Janelle Slade.
And I'm Jay Cohn. Nothing like a state championship game to kick off the weekend.
For the second straight year, the Billings Senior Broncs sit atop the AA football scene in Montana as they put finishing touches on an undefeated season.
The big championship celebration is still going on over at Dela Stadium, where Q2's Casey Conlon is standing by.
A good night for Bronc Nation, Casey.
Yeah, the championship celebration is still going on here a little bit. There's still little stragglers behind us, but as we walk this way, we'll show you what really happened here tonight. Back-to-back championships for Billings Senior 2016 and 2017 as they make it 26 straight wins with a 21-12 victory. Here's a couple of the celebration shots you can see as Senior lifts their trophy for the second straight year. It's of course the third straight year they've played in the championship. Another incredible senior class, including Gabe Sulser and Nolan Askelson, who really put their stamp on this game early on, in the first half on offense and in the second half on defense as Senior pitches a shutout. Congratulations to the Broncs. We'll have full highlights and hear from the winners coming up in sports. For now, let's send it back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Casey, for sticking around in that cold weather tonight. As Casey said, much more on the Broncs championship win tonight. A bit later in sports, including more post-game reaction.
Well, one day after the Keystone Pipeline sprung a leak in rural South Dakota, spilling 210,000 gallons of crude oil, operator TransCanada says the leak is now controlled and does not pose a threat to public safety. In a news release today, the company says it has sent 75 workers to the site here in Marshall County, South Dakota. This is just south of the border with North Dakota. Officials with South Dakota say there was a 5-hour time lag between TransCanada's detection of the leak and when the company first notified state environmental officials. But the state says that delay isn't a major concern now, as the main focus is getting the spill cleaned up and determining a cause.
What we're doing right now is ensuring that we take a very aggressive approach to cleaning up this spill, but we also want to make sure that the site is safe for our workers to continue to work. So we have deployed numerous amounts of equipment here to this site, vacuum trucks, trucks to clean that spill and to begin that restoration and that reclamation.
Ironically, this coming Monday is when Nebraska state officials will announce their decision to either approve or deny a route for the Keystone XL pipeline through their state. But it appears that this week's spill won't affect that decision. That's because it has to be based solely on evidence presented during public hearings, which were held this past August. Also today, technical experts with the Federal Pipeline Hazardous Safety Administration arrived on scene there in South Dakota to begin their investigation. The underground pipeline leaked into agricultural land. At this point, officials don't believe the oil polluted any surface water bodies or drinking water systems. Hardin's coal-fired power plant could be on shaky ground as its owners consider closing it. The 11-year-old Hardin generating station could close as early as next year due to a soft market for electricity. Or the plant's owners, Rocky Mountain Power, could decide to sell it. The State Public Service Commission was informed this week that Hardin plant is losing money. The PSC would have to approve any sale. In his letter to the PSC, Rocky Mountain Power says a decrease in the price for electricity has led to losses at the plant since 2014. 30 people are employed at the facility, which uses about 550,000 tons of coal a year from the Crow Tribe's Absalica coal mine. The company's attorney tells us that it has been talking with potential buyers.
Northwestern, there's regional electrical co-ops, there's refineries, there's manufacturing companies. We've had short-term power contracts with several different manufacturing companies throughout the state. So we're not closing any doors. We're going to be talking to everybody and have already been talking to numerous potential buyers.
Crow Tribal Chair Alvin Nottafray Jr. telling us tonight, quote, it's his hope that Rocky Mountain Power finds a buyer for the plant soon and that Crow, Hardin, and Bighorn County will not endure a loss of jobs, revenue, and affordable electricity. Pam Busey says the surge of wind and solar energy has made it difficult for Rocky Mountain Power to sell its electricity out of state. U.S. Representative Greg Gianforte misled authorities after he assaulted a reporter the night before his election in May. A newly released report, police report that is, shows Gianforte told a Gallatin County Sheriff's Sergeant that Guardian reporter Ben Jacobs initiated the physical contact.
The London-based newspaper obtained the document today and reports that in it, Gianforte complained Jacobs had stuck a microphone in his face and was asking, quote, obnoxious questions. On the night of the incident, a Gianforte press release stated Jacobs grabbed Gianforte's wrists, spun away, and pushed them both to the ground. Witnesses, however, did not see it that way. Gianforte later pleaded guilty to the assault and apologized to Jacobs. He was sentenced to community service and anger management.
President Trump went after Minnesota Senator Al Franken on Twitter today over Franken's sexual misconduct allegation. But that action has turned the mirror on the president's own past. CBS's Weijia Zhang reports now from Washington.
But how is this different?
Reporters asked the White House Friday about President Trump's past alleged misconduct. That's after he took to Twitter to comment on the sexual misconduct allegation against Minnesota Democrat Senator Al Franken. He wrote, "The Al Frankenstein picture is really bad," referring to this photograph showing Franken with his hands over a woman's breasts during a 2006 USO tour. Franken apologized, but the president wondered where do his hands go in pictures 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 while she sleeps. Mr. Trump was caught talking about groping women on an Access Hollywood tape from 2005.
And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Whatever you want.
During the 2016 campaign, more than a dozen women came forward to accuse then-candidate Trump of misconduct, including Jessica Leeds, who said he groped her in the 1980s.
It was a real shock when all of a sudden his hands were all over me.
The Trump campaign categorically denied all claims. White House spokeswoman Sarah Huckabee Sanders said Friday there's a big difference between Senator Franken and President Trump.
Senator Franken has admitted wrongdoing and the president hasn't. I think that's a very clear distinction.
Do you believe Roy Moore's accusers?
The president has not personally commented on Alabama's Republican Senate candidate Roy Moore, who was accused of sexual misconduct against minors. The White House has officially stated that Moore should drop out of the race if the allegations are true. Weijia Zhang, CBS News, Washington.
Meanwhile, Moore has continued to deny the allegations against him. He continues to call it a political ploy.
The resolution to Montana's funding shortfall now sits on Governor Steve Bullock's desk.
Republican lawmakers and the governor were able to craft a compromise early Thursday morning during a two-day special session this week. But the governor says he plans to veto one of the key bills. It's a bill that mandates a monthly one-day furlough for state executive branch employees. That bill would save as much as $15 million.
The bill was sponsored by Billings Representative Barry Usher and has the full support of Republican leadership.
I mean, he has to make that money up somewhere else. So whether that means he's going to cut another $15 million out of state government somewhere else, I think that's what that means. So receiving word that he's going to veto what we think is just a smart business bill is pretty disappointing.
Knudsen believes the biggest accomplishment of the special session was giving the governor options to balance the budget without raising taxes.
On to the weather scene now. Bob McGuire, several big games on tap yet this weekend, and the question is, will the weather play fair?
Well, you noticed last night, or tonight, if you were out there, you felt that wind blowing those clouds away. Well, look what's happening. All the cloud cover, the snow is with that clouds, all starting to pull away from the Billings area. So we're going to be left with clearing skies tonight. That means you're going to probably see a lot of sunshine tomorrow. The only watch or warning we still have going is a high wind warning up there in the Cody foothills. That starts at 11 o'clock tonight, goes for about most of the day on Saturday. Sunday morning, I think we'll end that, and then we're looking at gusts up to about 65 miles per hour. But you'll notice, here's our forecast for the weekend. It's not going to be bad in Billings. It's just going to be breezy. 43 on Saturday, 49 on Sunday. Mostly sunny skies both days, but winds will be out of the west-southwest at about 15 to 25, and that's going to make it feel a little bit on the chilly side out there this weekend. But still, the sunshine should feel good. We'll have the rest of your forecast in a few more minutes.
All right. Thanks, Bob.
Still to come on tonight's 10 o'clock news, 2 bucks caught in a territorial tango are rescued cowboy style. We'll show you.
Plus, if you're in need of a Thanksgiving meal, well, stick around. We'll tell you where you can find a free meal coming up.
You're watching MTN News with Jay Cohn and Janelle Slade. Storm